Hello everybody, it is me and Jerry. Happy Halloween. We are back with another makeup tutorial, but make it scary. Yes, we're doing a blood drip tutorial today and I can't wait to show you guys, okay? Let's go. So to start, I'm using my micro brow pencil by Morphe. This was one of my first times using the pencil and I actually really like it. To start, I'm brushing up her eyebrows. That way I can see the exact shape I want to create. I love using micro pencils because they allow for the brows to be precise, and they also can mimic brow hair, which is always a bonus. Her brows were already naturally thick, so all I was doing was creating the shape that I wanted to mimic with makeup and then giving her some light hair strokes in the beginning of her brow to give it a full look from beginning to tail. Now, as you guys can see, she has a little bit of hair underneath her brow bone, and instead of waxing or shaving, I'm going to show you guys a quick makeup fix to make the eyebrows look perfectly arched. To give her that clean brow, I'm going in with Duo Lash Glue. It's really important that you get the clear one. And once you apply it on, it'll dry and it will look just like skin. But the best part is that when you go over it with concealer, you can't even tell. You can't even tell, because there's nothing scarier than fuzzy eyebrows. It's nothing scarier. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. We like our eyebrows sharp. So I'm going in with my foundation that I'm using as concealer because you can do that. I like it because it's thick, it's going to cover that hair, and when you guys see the final product, you will never even know that I covered up extra hair underneath her brow. At least once a week, I get a client who has really thick, beautiful brows that I need to just do a little bit of concealing. So now I'm priming her lid, and I'm going in with Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. Now this concealer is no joke, okay? It is full coverage. It is comparable to Shape Tape, but I will say this: when you're working with it, you have to work fast. This concealer will set. I kind of feel like whenever I put it on the eyes, I'm racing against the clock because I want to get both eyes nice and perfect and blended before it sets, because when it sets, you cannot move it. And that's one of the reasons why I actually love using it, because it will allow for a flawless eyeshadow application. So I did one of her eyes off camera. I got this inspiration off of Pinterest, but I just love the cranberry cut crease. I think it is very dramatic, and it goes with the blood that we're gonna do later. So to start all of my cut creases, I like to pack one color and build and build. Blending comes after. So you'll see me continue to go back and forth from the palette, building up that cranberry shade. Once I get it super intense, that's when I'll go in and diffuse. Doing this also helps you map out the shape so that when you're doing eyes, especially when you do one first and another second, you can make sure that they're twins and not sisters, not cousins, and not aunties and uncles. You want them to look just alike. So take your time, step back, and map everything out before you go ahead and do it. Now, going in with this super tiny Morphe brush, I am diffusing. Not blending essentially, because there's only one color I'm working with here, but I am diffusing. Make sure you grab that eyebrow, pull it up, that way you get a nice taut shape, and very lightly, circular motions, diffuse that color. I'm trying to tone down that color where it begins. For me, I love little tiny circular motions. You can see how much it moves the product. I'm going super light. I'm literally doing I'm doing nothing, and the product is moving. And yes, this does take a while, but it's one of the most important parts about doing eyeshadow, so take your time. Unless you're really trying to be scary for Halloween, then don't blend your eyeshadow, because we all know that's horrifying. So now I'm going in with my liner. I wanted to make the cut crease pop. I wanted to do something different. So I went ahead and did a neon green yellow line, and I feel like that complements the reds that we're doing, and it helps make the eyes pop. The liner I'm using is from Suva, and it is their UV water activated liners. And the best thing about these liners is that some of them glow in the dark. I think that's going to add a really nice spooky touch to her look, and it makes your makeup pop. As you guys can see, I'm getting really close to her face because this is extremely detailed work. You're using a really thin brush, and you're using a product that's very time sensitive to work with. It has to be wet for it to glide, and you have to get up close and make sure everything is precise. And once I was finished, I liked the way it looked, but I felt as if the neon yellow could pop a little bit more. So to give additional contrast, I went ahead and grabbed this orangey color in the spirit of Halloween, and I applied it on the other side of the liner where the negative space is. Yellow and white are very similar colors, so going after it with a little bit of orange will help break up the two. And once I have my color packed on, you guys know the routine. This is when we blend. So before I do her foundation, I'm going to go ahead and carve out the top of her brows. I'm using the same exact product that I used underneath her brows for the top. I think it's kind of satisfying when I can get the brow in like one good swipe. It's kind of satisfying to me, so here you go. So now I'm going in and blending her foundation. left the foundation application off camera, but I did use the NYX Born to Glow foundation. I love it because it has a luminous finish. I didn't want this video to be 20 minutes long, so I spared you guys those details. But now we are getting into concealer, and I don't know, recently I have been doing 2 layers of concealer for every single client. I've done one that's close to their complexion, and then I pop on top of something that's really light, and I've been loving the way it turns out. And if you guys don't have the e.l.f. 16-hour concealer, I suggest you go and get it because it is everything. One thing about the way that I blend is I use multiple mediums. So I'm going to use a brush, I'm going to use a beauty blender, and I'm going to keep switching between the two until I'm completely satisfied with my blend. When I take pictures of my clients at the end of our session, I need to make sure everything is perfect. And if that means I'm spending more time and more products, then so be it. So I sped this up just to save you guys some time, but this is really what I do when I blend. I'm patting with the brush and I'm patting with the beauty blender until I'm happy. So now I'm going ahead and setting her concealer. And one of the reasons why I love this concealer so much is I don't have to rush to set it, which is the case for a lot of other concealers. I'm not naming any names or anything, but I can put the product on, take my time and blend, and then I can set it when I'm ready, and it won't move, it won't budge, and it won't crease. This is one of my favorite parts of doing makeup. Just taking my blush and my bronzer and applying it to the cheeks. It changes the entire look of the face. It makes the face warm. It gives it shape. It aids to contour. It helps with everything. And as you guys can see, when I put on her blush, I'm taking it all the way to the back of her face and even up to her forehead, just a little bit. And even a little bit by the hairline. So now is the fun part, y'all. I was so excited to do this part. I was so excited. So instead of using eyeshadow, I had to experiment a little bit with which product I wanted to use. I ended up going with a red liquid lipstick. This was the best for me. One, because it kind of was like using paint, which I'm comfortable with. I was literally painting on the teardrops. I knew what shape I wanted to go with, so once I got my shape mapped out, I took my liquid lipstick and I filled it in, and it looked so good. So once I was done with the liquid lipstick, I did go ahead and pat on some red eyeshadow, and I felt that it could pop just a little bit more. It's cute, but it's not doing everything I needed to do. So I decided that I wanted to add glitter. So this is me going in with eyelash glue to secure the blood drops and also to get ready for our glitter. And once you let the glue dry just a little bit, you can actually go in right away with your glitter. And you guys, this was the last step. I was so happy with how it turned out.